Kamila Valieva was invited to the Paris-Saint-Denis match. This was stated by the general director of the club, David Melikusanov. Kamila is a great figure skater. Any sport is wonderful, it unites. Gymnasts, basketball players, and hockey players come to our matches. We also send our guys to various events. This is the right story. We will be happy to invite Kamila to our match. Always happy to see her, said David Melikusanov. Sergei Chepchigov. Kamila is an athlete who was given the highest gift from heaven. Her hands are like a headband with faith in victory. She is our young talent in the art of ice skating. She was suspended due to a doctor's mistake. Kamila has come a long way and has always been gentle and kind to people. Valieva achieved high results. Kamila is a ray of light, her heart and soul are filled with love, said the ex-CSKA goalkeeper. Lev Lishchenko. This whole doping story with our figure skater, which has been going on for almost 2 years, is very incomprehensible to me. Kamila Valieva is a very talented girl. I consider her one of the brightest representatives of world figure skating. Her disqualification is a complete disgrace. I want her not to be upset. Anyway, she won that and managed to prove that she is the best in the world. And he will do this many more times. I watch her perform at the Olympics in Beijing, and the whole world watched this brilliant figure skater. Valieva is charismatic. She is very bright not only as a figure skater, but also as a person, as a wonderful dancer. I think that after leaving the sport she has a great future ahead of her. And it's very sad that people who make up the glory of not only Russian, but also world sports are treated so unfairly, said singer and people's artist of Russia Lev Lishchenko. The British The Times released material with new details of the Kamila Valieva case, the most important thing here. The source is reputable and seems credible. And the material itself is written kindly and with sympathy towards Kamila. Here's a quote. At the center of the scandal is a child who is likely either a victim of domestic doping or a victim of abuse. If we put aside emotions and previously known details, there are two fundamentally new points in the materials of the Times. Gennady Solovyov, who is not actually Kamila's grandfather, but her former stepfather's dad, actually claimed that he himself used hermetazidine due to heart problems, and the smallest particles of the drug ended up in Kamila's food through his fault. At the same time, neither Solovyov nor Valieva's mother appeared at the hearings, did not provide any documents, and did not even send a video. Valieva, and with her the FFKR, was notified of a positive test on February 6, 2022. On this day, she performed a short program as part of the team tournament of the Olympic Games. What follows from this? Let's start with grandfather. Even during the Olympic Games in Beijing, it seems that he was ready to do a lot for the sake of his granddaughter. He sent a video from the car, where he demonstrated Preductal, talked about heart problems and the upcoming operation. Kamila's mother, Alsu Anvarovna, also gave testimony online. The verdict, we recall, was positive. The CAS arbitrators believed the family and allowed Valieva to compete in the individual tournaments. What has changed in 2 years? Why was grandfather then ready to urgently record a video, and then, having a lot of time to prepare, could not even repeat this? Why didn't anyone from the family appear at the hearings, at least for support, and Kamila was left alone at the end? One can understand Solovyov's argument about buying Preductal, a heart drug that contains hermetazidine, under the counter. In theory, this is a prescription drug, although in practice it is easy to buy without a prescription. But if the purchase of the medicine really happened, why not provide receipts from pharmacies for regular purchases? They can be restored, even if lost, or data on debiting money from the card. And if you don't have this, at least the pharmacist's testimony. Okay. Let's say the pharmacy doesn't want to expose itself to selling a prescription drug without a prescription. The grandfather claims that he crushed the drug because he had difficulty swallowing the capsules whole. It would be more logical to talk about the need for grinding in the case of an infant, like track and field athlete Sergei Shabenkov, or even a dog, but again, let's say the grandfather is telling the truth. Why not record a video of how and where he crushed the tablets, or divided the capsules? Show how the kitchen works, how exactly the particles could get into the food. All this is a matter of a few minutes. And if for some reason the grandfather could not or did not want to do this, at least the mother could give it to her. But no one did. And there's an idea why. Everyone somehow forgot, but in fact in Russia even the intentional distribution of doping among minors is a criminal offense. Article 230.1 of the Criminal Code. Inducing a knowingly minor athlete to dope is punishable by a fine or imprisonment for up to 2 years. It turns out that while saving his granddaughter, the grandfather had to sign up for a criminal case. Not really. Unintentional contamination, and this is what we were talking about, within one's own family does not fall under the article. And in general, there are doubts that the law, which in reality has not worked since its adoption in 2016, would suddenly be applied specifically to the Valieva family. But how else to explain this sudden demarche? And now about the timing of notification of a positive doping test. Until now, another date appeared. February 8, and this fundamentally changes things. If Kamila and her entourage really found out about doping on the 6th, this means that the Russian delegation, in theory, still had the opportunity to try to expose another athlete to the team tournament and save the gold. This option seems like a win-win. If Kamila had ultimately been rescued and found not guilty, she would still have received an Olympic gold medal for the short program. And if not, the Russian team would have lost not 20 points, but only 10. There is no doubt that Anna Sherbakova or Alexandra Trusova would also have won the free program. This would be enough for silver, and just 1 point away from gold for the Americans, meaning it could potentially even bring victory. What was the logic of the officials when they sought to lift the temporary suspension from Kamila, but did not achieve the right to make a replacement in the team leader? The rules of the tournament are so vague that it is not obvious whether this was real in principle. After all, it would not have been possible to refer to a sudden injury. The ISU is just as aware of the positive tests as the skaters team. But the question is, has anyone even tried? In the comments of the leaders of the Russian Federation so far there is only indignation at the bias of CAS, and the intention to leave Russian figure skaters as Olympic champions within Russia. Zero specifics and analysis of the mistakes made. In theory, Kamila Valieva is supported by the whole country. Her teammates, management, and even the city sympathize with her. All of Moscow is plastered with banners about the Golden Girl. But in reality, when help was needed, Kamila was left alone. There was no coach nearby, who still dreams of figuring it out, or even members of her own family. So who is to blame that it all ended with the harshest possible verdict? Enemies from the collective West, inept defenders, or themselves? WADA did not comment on the quality of Kamila Valieva's defense in CAS. World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, Director General Olivier Nigli, previously explained why the skater received the maximum punishment. Valieva's lawyers failed the athlete by failing to prove the source of the substance. They didn't provide anything that was credible, Nigli said. Please ask questions regarding the quality of the athlete's legal protection to her representatives. The WADA press service responded to a request to comment on the statements of the organization's general director.